back to the Making It podcast, episode 77, the most complicated, frustrating, rage baiting podcast that we have ever made in the entire history of this podcast. I can honestly say I've lost about 4 years of my life preparing us for this. But it's fair to say we've had a bit of a busy weekend. We've not really had the chance to get it done in person, and the weather is ridiculous today. So we decided to do it online. StreamYard didn't work. OBS didn't work. Zoom at first didn't work, but now we are here for the 77th episode of the Making It podcast. So, Dan, welcome back, my friend. What have you got to tell me?
I'm good, bro. It's good to be recording it. Welcome to the listener. But I'm good. I think it's an interesting one because we had a few hurdles there trying to get the podcast done, but 77 episodes in, I think we've done so well to keep pushing with the podcast despite any hurdles that come in our way. And I think that's what the Making It journey is all about, man. There's always going to be things that are pushing us, testing us, making us angry, but we'll get through it, bro. But I've been really good. We've had some. It's been nice. I feel like we being back at home, you being back at home, it's like getting to see each other a lot more now. We
Mm.
briefly got to work with each other yesterday, which was good fun. But I've had a good week. England won last night, so that was good fun. Staying up to watch that. But how are you, my brother? How you been?
Bro, still a little bit raged. This is the thing about doing podcasts, right? It's like, it's so fun until you have to deal with technology. Like, if you could just talk to someone and some miraculous thing just uploaded it for you, amazing. I'm actually really good. I I would love to say all the reasons, but I think I'm going to hold tight on some of them, and you know why, Dan, as well. Um, but I will just say, as a general kind of statement, like this past week or so has been a real eye opener in terms of just how much opportunity there is out there for various different things. I started up my new blog this week called The Isolated Press, which I'm really proud of. So if you can go and give it a look, it's on Substack. It won't be every single week. It'll be kind of as and when my football creative mind decides it wants to talk about something. We're back to coaching on Wednesday, or I'm back to coach. I don't know if are you there on Wednesday? You're not there on Wednesday.
No, I've got my graduation this Thursday, so I'm going to Newcastle, unfortunately.
Yeah, but we got, I think, 2 weeks time. I think we'll be together coaching. 2 weeks time
Should
from
be, yeah, should be.
yeah. So we will finally get our coaching back. Tyndall and Howe have returned after a very long hiatus. Um, but I'm feeling good, bro. I feel good. I feel energized. I've been consistent with the gym and with my diet and with work. So I feel like a lot of things are in order for me at the moment. So other than that brief blip we just had, I've I felt very good, bro.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. And it's been nice to share some moments with you where we're both feeling good. And we had a coffee recently, and I shared the news with you that I'd got a first
Mm.
at uni with my undergraduate. So I'm very proud of myself for that. And I had a little bit of a moment where I was sharing it to my family, and I had Landslide by Fleetwood Mac came on, and I had a little proud cry, which I don't ever really do. So that was a nice moment because I was very adamant I was going to get a 2-1. So to get a first felt really good for me because I always said like I want to get loads of experience, which I feel like I have done with the coaching, with some sports psychology stuff I've been doing. And I thought if I get a 2-1, I'd be happy. But to get a first was a big bonus for me, man. So it paid off. So I'm very happy about that. And it's nice to share that moment with you where I can tell you about it. But things have been good, bro. And I think, like you're saying with opportunities, I think I've been thinking a lot about opportunities and it's quite interesting. I've been reading that Greenlight book, which you spoke about last week, and been channeling my Matthew McConaughey energy recently. And I feel like in the book he shoots his shot a lot. He goes out for things and gets things and takes life by the balls, as I said in one of our reels. But I feel like it's so cool because unless you don't shoot your shot, you don't know what's out there. But when you just give it a go and shoot your shot, maybe do an email to someone or send a letter to someone or do a cold call or text someone, you never know what opportunities are out there, bro. And I think it's an interesting one, bro. And I think we both felt that recently.
Well, yeah, there's. Have you got to the point where he meets that? It's actually quite early into the book. He meets that really famous film producer, director, and he's like asking about opportunities, and like he comes across as like wanting it too much, and he's like, you need to go and you need to stop being so needy because in the book, Hollywood will basically chew you up and spit you out for wanting things too much. Where does that sentiment lie with you in terms of like because at the end of the day, I think it's okay to want something a lot. Like this opportunity that I'm alluding to and being really suspicious about, like I really want it. But like you don't want to want it too much because that needy energy is a killer, I think sometimes. And it happens in relationships as well, bro. Like wanting someone a bit too much is a little bit of a put off. Why is that the case, do you think?
It's an interesting one because sometimes when you are needy, it pays off. Like I remember watching Shawshank Redemption, and he was constantly sending letters about getting a library for the prison, and then he eventually was that needy that they ended up going, "Yeah, we'll give you one." And sometimes you can be like that if you're constantly asking questions and sending emails. Like sometimes it does pay off, but I think a lot of the time with the direction you're coming from, I think you're right. It can come across as too much, too needy, and I think there's that fine balance of what were you about to say, mate? I see
I
you're
was
about to
gonna just
chip in.
add some context to maybe further your point. I think that I mean it coming from an advantageous perspective. I.e., Matthew McConaughey was going to get these roles and he was going to smash the films. And you in a relationship, you're probably in the same position. The other person likes you, they've told you that. But it's like that extra step of you don't need, you're overcompensating, you want it too much. Like, so flip the question on its head a little bit, coming from an advantageous perspective in terms of, yeah, you don't need to be that way.
Yeah, I think when you're doing that, you almost feel like you're chasing it. Like you come across as a almost desperate for it,
Yeah.
and it's. I feel like there is that balance in life where when you are starting out and you're trying to get things that advantageous side of it, you need something for yourself. You want something. There is a bit of a chase to it, but then I think there comes a point where those things come to you. So in the book, I'm just getting to that point now, and I've already heard him on a podcast talk about it, where he moves away from the rom-coms, and all of a sudden, it takes a while. It takes a while. Him and his wife are like, it's going to take a while. It's going to be tough, and eventually, a big money movie came out to him. He wasn't looking for that. That came to him, and I think when you first start out something, you are chasing something. You could come across as a little bit desperate because you need it, but I feel like there's that balance where you aren't as needy where it comes to you a bit more because you know where you're at. And it reminds me of someone once told me how like they reached out to loads of like people reach out a lot, don't they? On like LinkedIn, they'll reach out to like 100 different people saying, "Oh, I'm looking for experience. Have you got this?" And that's okay. You're shooting your shot. But sometimes for people, you come across and as you're only messaging them for that advantageous thing. You only want something from them. And I don't think that's nice on the other end. You can tell when someone just wants something from you. And I think that's the side of it where the neediness and the desperateness can come into it. Because are you really here because you actually want to speak to me or do you want something from me?
And that's why I was going to say about building up yourself as a brand in a way, in terms of how can I offer you something rather than just ask you for something? So now when I put myself in line for an opportunity, I say, this is what I've done. I've done this. This is what I currently offer, and I'm going to give you unwavering commitment. Not so I'm not going, can you give me this opportunity? I'm going, can you give me this opportunity? Because I think I deserve it. And that's a different argument, I think, altogether. Like it's like when you're in relationships, Dan. I've struggled with that. I feel like I've always wanted the other person more than they've wanted me because I forget my value when I speak to them because I treasure theirs so much. And it's like you can really treasure an opportunity, but don't forget how much you deserve that or how much like you are worth that. That's the point. I feel like sometimes when we're going for something big that we love or we want, a person, an opportunity, anything, you forget your own value in that journey. So now it's like usually I'd be waiting to hear back from this opportunity by email for the next 2 weeks. I'd be stressing out every day. I'd be waking up going, have they emailed me yet? Like, what have I done wrong? But I remember my value, bro. Good things come to those who wait and work for it. And at the end of the day, I think I'm good enough for this opportunity. It's out of my hands now. But I know my value. And it's the same again with relationships. I would say that if you are someone that struggles with attachment and all these different things, remember your value. Remember that it doesn't depend on someone else. And I still fall for it. I still get attached too quick to opportunities and people. all the time. But I knock myself into that mindset of this depends on you. Your value is you, not someone else. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you remember that, the sooner that opportunities become less daunting and more deserved, and relationships become easier to come by and maintain. And and that is my honest view. You can shoot your shot with 1,000 different people on LinkedIn, but at the end of the day, you've got to remember you're there to offer them something. You are a brand, you are your own business, you are your own person. Put yourself in the shop window and sell the shit out of yourself. That's what I want to say on that.
100%, bro. And it's always that sort of situation of like you want to put someone else in a situation where it's hard for them to say no. Like, why would they turn you down? You know, if because you're offering that high level of standard. And I want to talk about that's something more. You sent me a video this week, and it was same again, bloody Matthew Bogone talking, and he was talking about. Have you ever had that feeling where you're meant for something more? You don't know quite what it is, but there's that feeling. And we've spoke about this a little bit because we've had it before where people have told us that they feel like something's out there for us, something big's there for us because we've got that potential to do something like that. And I've always found that quite an interesting thing because you've got to stay humble at the same time and not always think that you're going to do big things all the time. But I think it's good to back yourself at the same time. And when you get that feeling that you're almost made for something, like you can go out there and do something good and make people proud and the sky's your limit. I think it's a very interesting feeling to have, and when people tell you that, it's very inspiring because it does give you that boost and that feeling. What's that feeling for you, bro?
But when people tell you that you're bound to go somewhere for most of your life, which I have had, because I've had supportive people around me, it is great and it's bad because like I'm like, yeah, I'm going somewhere, but then I'm like, where am I going? Tell me. That's the problem. You go, tell me. You say, where am I going? So already you're looking for someone else to tell you your journey and where you're going. It's the first mistake we make. When someone tells you you're going somewhere, be grateful for that. But you deep down know where you're going. And sometimes it's hard, bro, because we don't know where we're going to end up. But at the end of the day, I could end up trying to be a football coach and putting my all into it and getting to a good level, which I know I can get to. But then I might end up doing something completely different and smashing it. I might set up a cooking show and end up becoming a professional chef. This is life. You know, Anthony Bourdain has always been frequently mentioned on this podcast. He has been a top chef in New York for all of his life. But the thing that made him famous was writing, which he did always want to do. But the point is like things can just happen. And your journey will take unexpected routes and twists and turns, and it's just about embracing it, I think. But that thing of like you're destined for something, I think the hard part of that is realizing what that is. And the reason people fall off from what they would like to do, or they fall off and they struggle with that comment, is because they don't know what their success looks like or what it's in. And again, I think that's a systemic problem where we are told at a young age, you need to decide what you want to do for the next retirement age is what, 67, 68? Like you how can a 16-year-old boy or girl decide what they want to do until they're in their 60s? We've got to stop telling people that. And we've got to start telling people, you're 16. Find out what you're passionate about and action on it. Give them the opportunities to be free and find stuff out. We're in a privileged position in this country where we can do that, but we don't do it. And I feel like that's the issue. That's what's created anxiety, telling people they need to decide everything right now, at this very minute, or you ain't shit, basically. What's your thoughts on that then?
Well, it's interesting because, like you say, that sort of starts so young, and a lot of people do struggle with knowing what they want to do at that age, and you do feel that pressure of how am I supposed to know now? And like you're saying, the direction you're coming from of like Anthony Bourdain with he was a chef for a while, but he didn't get noticed until the writing, and this whole idea of people telling you that you can do something good in life, you're destined for something. It's an interesting phenomenon because it's like you're saying, well, what is that? And you get that moment of inspiration, that motivation, but who knows what that's going to be? And I think that's what it is. That's what it should be, really. It's just a bit of inspiration to say you can believe in yourself, you back yourself, things, you can be confident in yourself because people have seen that there's something in you. But then there's that dynamic of no one knows what's going to happen in the future. There's so many years in our lives. As much as life is short, there are so many years in our lives where our life could go in so many different directions, multiple jobs, different avenues, different passions, different people around us. We can't predict life, you know. There's so many different things. So to be at a young age and have to decide what you want to do, it is quite daunting, and you almost feel like it has to be the same thing for your whole life. And I think there's some people that definitely struggle with the fact that they don't know what to do. But there's everything right with being able to do different things across your life, try different careers, do multiple different things, have different stories to tell. And sometimes I find life can feel a little bit like it's on a hamster wheel sometimes. And I wanted to bring this up this week, where we wake up some mornings and the purpose doesn't quite seem like it's there that day, or we don't quite know which direction our life's going in. We don't quite know that destination. And I think that's why it's so important to talk about what we do each week, about the journey, and that each day is going to offer something new. You don't know what's going to happen the next day, the next week, the next year, the next month. You didn't know a couple of years ago you were going to spend a year in Australia, but that's the beauty of life. Do you ever feel like sometimes you do feel like you're on a little bit of a hamster wheel? You're constantly doing a next thing or wanting to know what's going to happen, etc., as opposed to just being in that moment.
Well, I wonder if maybe we want a little bit too much from our days, Dan. Like, sometimes do we wake up and go, I want to achieve so much in one day that we forget, like, that having a bit of momentum is okay. You know, like working on something gradually every day is okay. Like, it's hard, bro, because um I love the fact that every day is like a learning day, and you wake up every morning and maybe you don't search to learn for something new or for a new opportunity every day, but like they always come across. Every day something new happens. Even something as simple as, do you want to go for a McDonald's with me at 12 o'clock? Because I'm going on my own. Or do you want to start a new job? Or do you want to move to another country? Like, this can happen. Um, I wanted to give a shout out to, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say it. I'm going to say it anyway, so I hope I haven't spoiled anything. But I want to give a shout out to Bella because she's got something cool going on in Europe with dance. And I remember living with her, and she told me she doesn't think she's going to be able to do it. And she was stressing because that morning she's like, all I'm doing is working at Cabana. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna be able to do it. I want to go to Europe. I can't afford it. I can't do it. But now you can. And it's like, if you wake up every morning thinking about that opportunity that you can't have right this very second, you're never going to be happy. But if you wake up every morning being okay with every day being 1%, 2%, 3%, a few percent better every single day, and you just be grateful for what you've got that day and keep walking towards what you want, but not beating yourself up, you'll be a lot happier. And I know that Bella hasn't done that. I know that she's stressed out every single morning. But like, that is an example of me for how, from a foreign perspective, I look at that and go, you were just grateful and you just kept working hard and you got it now. But for her, every morning it's like a stress. Like, I haven't got it today. It's okay if you don't have it today, but you are going to have it if you have that consistency, bro. And well done, Bella. I just want to say I'm proud of you. But with me with the gym, bro, it's like I wake up some mornings and I'm like, why don't I look like fucking Ronnie Coleman? Like, I've been going to the gym every day. But then I remember now, it's like, but just turning up every day. At the end of the week, you have a little look and you're like, okay, I'm doing better. And you're just embracing that 1% every day. That's the joy of it, embracing the 1%. Rather than trying to look for 100% win in one thing every day, can we enjoy the 1% of everything else that we're smashing every day? Your room's looking cleaner 1% every day. Your food that you're eating 1%. The gym, work, going to work, you're more positive, 1% more positive every day. All these little things, if you add up all those 1%, bro, maybe they'll equal that 100% you're looking for every single morning. That's my thought on it. That was a bit long, but like,
Yeah.
that's my thought on that.
I love it, bro. And I think that's the thing because we always want to see the results quick.
Hmm.
We get impatient. We want to see where this is going because you almost need that reassurance, that comfort of this is going to work out.
Hmm.
And when you don't see those results, it's like, is this even worth it? And it's that typical image of the miner digging in the ground and like one's turning away when literally the diamonds are just a couple digs away. And it's so hard. And I think something I've actually not mentioned for a while now is that reason why. And I think that's what can pull you through those moments where you're not seeing results when things aren't quite there. Say with this podcast, bro, like we want even more people to be involved in this community because that's what we want, bro. We want to make that impact. And we're so grateful for what's happening right now. But these moments right now are what's fun. I want to look back on when we had these hurdles and trying to do this podcast right now, and that we loved doing it and we enjoyed it and we enjoyed the journey. And that's the main thing, bro, because so often we want to see the future, but life wouldn't be fun if we knew exactly what was going to happen.
And also, bro, like if everything you wanted to happen happened right at this very moment, and I could grant that for you, I'd love to. But what are you going to stress about in the morning? And that's not to say drag it out so you can stress about it every day. That's to say you aren't ever going to be happy with what you've got. That's the point I'm making. So everything fixing itself at once, you getting everything you want right now, won't fix your problem, or it won't fix your mindset. So being grateful will absolutely fix that. It will absolutely fix that. It doesn't mean that every morning you have to pray and be like, yes, thank God I got this today. Like this is all because of something else. You don't have to do that. You can do that if you want. By all means, go for it. But like, embrace the 1%. Embrace the fact that your one gym session, your one half an hour practice of football, your one good chat with a mate. Like, embrace the 1% and good things that that does for you in that moment and in that day, because it adds up, it stacks up, it does. And bro, like me stressing about football every single day hasn't done me any good. Wanting that 100%, but kind of slowly, gradually improving my mindset and moving away from I need it, and trying to just let things kind of happen, even as frustrating as it's been, as you know, has led to that one moment where we're sitting having a beer watching Japan against Brazil. The first time I've got that game right all week. Um, all week I've been saying Germany, Japan, because I think that happened in the last World Cup. They got knocked out by Japan, I think. And then you suggested that I do what I did and put that email in. And bro, that again, it's the little things every day that add up to that one moment. And you're not going to remember every single day, but be grateful for them as they come by. So yeah, like, I think at the end of the day, bro, life is short. But why not make the most of it? Well, why not? Like we're privileged enough to go out and enjoy a coffee. We're privileged enough to go out and enjoy each other's company without the stress of war, of all these different things. Like, let's be grateful for our position, man, because we have got it so much better than most people. And I'm insanely grateful for everything we got, and for you listening as well. That means a lot to us.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And I had a moment yesterday when I was working and I just been to the toilet and I walked out and I was walking down the corridor outside the pub. And I get this moment every now and then where I'm just like, my brain tells me, like, one day you're not going to be here, Daniel. And then all of a sudden I get this energy spurge and I give that bit more extra energy to people on the shift, and I smile a bit more and I put even more energy in. And I've been thinking about it so much recently, especially with being home and like being away from uni, where I feel like when I'm at uni, I I think I'm on that hamster wheel a little bit more. I'm
Yeah,
thinking a lot about the next task, the next thing I need to do. But when I'm at home, life is a lot simpler. I'm working in the pub. I'm just in my free time, I'm just spending time with people. You know, there's not deadlines or anything I need to be doing coming up. It's just I'm just kind of living life, and it's kind of made me think a lot over the past couple of weeks, like what is it all really about? And we speak so much about different things on the podcast about life and the making it journey, and it is about enjoying it. And a quote that has really resonated with me, which I've 100% mentioned, and you mentioned a couple of weeks ago, was about life being an experience, not a performance. And that's really stuck with me since you said that, because it's so true. Like one morning you wake up and you might feel a bit hungover because you had a big night the night before. The next morning you might wake up and you feel amazing because you've had the best sleep ever. But every day's different, and that's the beauty of it. And that's what we should love about it, the experience of it, the different people we meet, the things that we don't know are going to happen, and loving people, being around people, supporting people, being grateful, and just enjoying what's going on. Otherwise, we can get so sucked into what's ahead. And I saw something yesterday on Instagram about Stephen Bartlett, who for me is a big inspiration. But this person was trying to say that there's a bit of a always having to optimize life, always trying to do something which makes you better. And the example was Stephen was talking about red wine and how the next day it made his body not as good. And if you don't drink wine, then he'll be so much more productive. And this guy was trying to say it's okay to sometimes have that glass of wine and enjoy it and stuff like this. And I don't think Stephen Bartlett's coming from a bad direction. I think he's generally that's just what he likes to do in his life. And I think he's an inspiration. But the idea of a performance, like trying to optimize our lives all the time, that's that hamster wheel. I've 100% been there, bro. And I've been so much happier when I've not been trying to optimize every minute of my day. And I can just embrace it and take things a bit slower. Good things are still happening, just at a slower pace, and they're probably happening better.
Yeah, I agree with that, bro. And like when we come back to that quote, which by the way will be in our Substack, which you can subscribe to, the Making It
Yes,
podcast on Substack. You get a nice little quote, you get a message from us, and it just sends you a podcast every week. So if you can't find the link, if you forget about it, anything like that, not that you can forget our beautiful faces, obviously, but if you forget, it just emails it all to you. It's free. You don't have to pay anything, so don't worry when you hear the word subscribe. I don't want your money, but it just sends it to your inbox, and it makes life way easier for you. It makes it easier for us. We all win. But yeah, but like the quote is, bro, it's not a performance. You haven't got an audience. You might wake up in the morning and think everyone's looking at my hair thinking it's shit. Your window's closed, your door's closed, you're the only person in your room. It's just you. So the real thing is it's you v you all the time, which goes back to the onion, bro. You're not on a level playing with anyone else but yourself. Remember that. That is how it always is. And I keep telling myself that. So my takeaways from this, bro, is like value yourself, be grateful for what you've got, and keep smashing it. Keep smashing it. We're proud of you. That was a good podcast, bro. I enjoyed that.
and despite the hurdles, bro, that's life, and things are going to get in the way. And look at what is, not what should be, bro, because what is what's happening, man.
Always. I feel remarkably relaxed. I could have a quick Fanta, I think, to celebrate with Sam downstairs. Anyway, that was episode 77 of the Making It podcast. Looking forward to seeing you every Tuesday at 10 in the morning. Substack, join us on there, Making It Podcast, social media, Making It Poddy across all of them, or email us makingitpoddy@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to speak to you, as always. Big shout out to all of you for listening. Really appreciate it. Have a great week. See you soon.
Take it easy, guys. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Feel so right.